Your works are wonderful. Therefore, I need you to hear today, you're wonderful. No matter what you feel, no matter what you think, no matter what good or bad has happened, if his works are wonderful, and I know the old saying, God don't create no junk, that's a little understated. What he creates is wonders. He creates wonders. So my question is, why do we keep trying to be like everybody else when he created us unique? Why do we keep letting everybody else tell us who and how we should be when he created us for his purpose the way he needed his purpose to be fulfilled? We should go to him to say, God, what'd you create me for? Why did you make me this way? Let me see it. Let me understand it. Clear my eyes from the darkness that I may understand the truth of why you created me this way. And then let me run. Let me run in the way you created me. How many of y'all know the story of Eric Liddell? I love this story too. In the movie Chariots of Fire, it stated, this was my youth minister's favorite saying, so I know it by heart. Eric Liddell was fast, and it was in the Olympics, and was to run for the gold medal. And he chose not to run for it because the race was going to be run on a Sunday. And he wanted to honor God, and so he wouldn't run on Sunday. And he sacrificed the gold medal because he was the sure favorite for it in the Olympics. And somebody asked him, he said, why would you do that? He said, because God made me fast. And when I run, I feel his pleasure. He wasn't running for a gold medal. He would have that day if it had not been a Sunday, but that's not why he ran. He ran because God made him fast. And when he ran, he felt God's pleasure. Where do you feel God's pleasure in your life and the way he's created you and get you together for his purpose? Even if you don't understand what he's accomplishing, it doesn't matter. Eric Liddell was not trying to make some religious or political statement. He was just living by his conviction. And in that context, it goes on to say, your works are wonderful. I know that full well. If you struggle with this, I want you to circle that. I know that full well. And begin to let this chapter of Scripture and these verses sink into you. That you go, wait, you made me. You knit me together. I will praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And I want to get to where I know that full well. And I rest in how you and who you created me to be. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place. When I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. With that in mind, I'm going to wrap up with another analogy if I can. I don't want to take too much spiritual, or this feels real spiritual, but I'm going to get real practical if I can. Somebody in here, if you will, participate with me. Tell me what the perfect car is.
Dodge Viper.
What? Dodge Viper.
Okay.
Okay.
Doesn't break down and is always full.
The one that doesn't break down and is always full.
That's right. We want to get you down the road.
Okay, the point A to point B. Someone else. Perfect. What's the perfect car?
The one that's paid for.
I thought of that one too. The one I can afford
Yeah.
to drive. Okay? Now, you ask that across people, you'll get a different answer almost every one of them. And the question isn't just what the perfect car is. It's what's the perfect car for what I need done. So let me throw this in because I want this to sink into your head if you can. Somebody might say a sports car. Man, I want something shiny and flashy and fast. Somebody might say, I don't need to go fast. I just need something cheap. That's a gas saver. Somebody might say, man, I need a powerful moving machine. I need something that can tow 20, 30,000 pounds. That's what I need. I don't need to save gas. Couldn't care about gas. I need to tow 20, 30,000 pounds.
Ford F-250.
Somebody, we'll get there. Somebody might say, I need a luxury car. I need to feel important as I drive. I need my family to travel in comfort. I don't need just an SUV, I need an Escalade. I need a Denali. I need this or that. It's not just about what the car will do, it's how the car presents me. Some might say, you know, I need a fast car. Some might say, I'm good with a slow car. Man, I don't need to go fast. Some might say I need a big car. Some might say I need a small car. Some might say I need a gas car. Some might say I need an electric car. Because each one of those cars has a different job, right? Each one has a different job and fulfills a different purpose. So one should not try to replace the other. I should not try and tow 30,000 pounds, which I'm sure I probably have, with an Econo box that gets 40 miles to the gallon. I had that Econo box, it couldn't get through the snowdrift. You know what I'm saying? Great on gas mileage, really bad in reverse, trying to just get over snow. I wouldn't try to do that, would you? I mean, I've seen people load all the plywood on top of their Audi, and you know it's just not meant to be on top of the Audi. I see the guys with the minivans that have the 5 or 6 ladders in town, and I go, you're a guy who's struggling because ladders don't go on top of a minivan, they go on top of a pickup, but a minivan is what you had and you want to work, so you put the ladders on top of your minivan and you made it work. They each have a different purpose, so you can't replace one with the other, so why do we do that with ourselves before God? To say, God, you should have made me this way. No, I didn't need you to be that way, I made them that way. God, you should have made me better looking. I didn't need you to be better looking. You should have given me more talent. I should have been able to sing in the choir. I didn't need you to sing in the choir. Do you know one of the most powerful speakers I've ever heard is a guy, man, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. You may have seen him on, where he has been burned on the entire side of his face, can barely speak out of his mouth now, but if you listen to the man speak, oh my goodness, does he speak with authority and power. God's like, I didn't need somebody with perfect hair. I needed you. I need you. And he let him be that way in order that he'd be heard as a mouthpiece to God. How did he create you to be? He doesn't need you to try and replace who you are with someone else you think he needs you to be. He doesn't. He created you the way he wants you to be, to fulfill the purpose he created you for, the purpose he created you for when he numbered your days. Do what you were created to do and let others, you need to hear this side too, do what they were created to do. They don't need to be more like you, as much as you don't need to be more like them. We are each unique. We each have his purpose, or her purpose. And Scripture says that. Don't say to the eye, I should be a foot, or to the foot, I should have been a mouth. No, God created you for the purpose, and all things are useful to his body, even to the point he says that even those things we try to hide, we're given special attention. And those things that maybe we thought were flashy, he says, God really hasn't given much attention to. Some of this comes out of, and this is going to sound really weird, but I'm going to give you somebody to look up on YouTube, okay? We talked about this in Sunday school last week. There's a guy, this is what got me thinking, okay, in some ways. There's a guy named Bjorn Slat. Anybody ever heard of Bjorn Slat apart from my Sunday school class? No, I hadn't either until last week. Bjorn Slat is a guy, how many of y'all know there is a Great Pacific Garbage Patch that floats out between California and Hawaii that is as large, if not larger, than the state of Texas? And it is all the plastic that is in the ocean, the currents seem to carry it to that area. Well, Bjorn Slat is a Norwegian guy who can't be more than 30 at this point. And he has figured out how to clean up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And he has invested his life, he has invested his time, he has invested his energy. He has put together models, he has done trial after trial after trial to figure out what can actually go through in a reasonable manner, a cost-saving thing, not to make any money off of it. In fact, from his first couple hauls, he took some of the plastic, made some sunglasses. He said, I just did it to show you proof of concept that this could be used to create other things. All those sunglasses are going to do from the sales is just supply us more resources to do what we need to do to clean up this great garbage patch. He says it's going to take about 3,000 passes to do it, but we'll get it done in my lifetime. And his entire life is focused toward this thing that I didn't even know existed. And his first model is about 1.5 miles wide of what he is able to scoop up. His next generation is 3 times the size. And will take 3 different ships to be able to do what he's going to. As I watched that on YouTube, there's 2 different ones. I even started watching their business model and thought, incredible, incredible. All I could think of Was God just sitting there one day going, you know what? I really need somebody to clean up my oceans. I think I'm going to knit me a guy named Bjorn Sly. Doesn't really matter if he's a believer at this point or not. There's no other way that guy exists, I think, except for God said, I really need somebody to clean up my oceans. So I'm going to watch the video, see if you don't get the same feeling. I'm just going to create a guy to do it. And he's getting it done. And he's figuring out how to do it in this process. You are just as significant in the way you were created for the purpose for which God created you. It may not be as big or flashy, but it still is significant in his creation. Now here's the last thing, and Cheryl already kind of did a steal my thunder thing. As I thought about the perfect truck, I thought about that F-250 out there, and I almost asked how many of you have F-250, because it's the perfect truck. But I thought about that and went, you know what, it's really not. It's great when I need a flatbed. It's terrible when I need a long bed with sides on it to haul wood. I had to borrow a truck because mine doesn't have sides on it to go haul wood this year. And then I started thinking, that truck could literally be a short bed, a long bed, a single cab, a crew cab, an extended cab, an F-150, an F-350. Could be a dually, could be an automatic transmission or a manual transmission. It could be lifted or it could be standard size. It could be four-wheel drive or just regular. It could have a trailer hitch, a rescue hitch, a fifth wheel hitch, an in-bed hitch, or an on-rails hitch. It could have electric everything, or just manual everything. It could be a King Ranch or bucket seats. And there's someone in the world that needs every single one of those. Because there's a different job for every situation. Please hear me today if I can. You have been chosen by God. You are fearfully and wonderfully made in His presence. Before anyone ever knew your name, you are as promised as Isaac, or as promised as Carver. I just understand the promise more for Carver than I did for my girls. It makes them no different because each of them is created for His glory. So are you. So dear Heavenly Father, today, in this time, may you take this and help us to understand why you made us the way we are, that you might receive glory in your creation. There's a niche for which we fit. There's a need for which we can meet. It may never even be seen by anybody else, but that doesn't mean it's any less significant. Or it may be seen by the whole world. Either way, it all came from you. And you hold us up. You are the one that guides our steps. So may we depend and rely on you and quit listening to everything and everybody else in the world as to how we're supposed to act, behave, or what we're supposed to do, be, or look like. Let us come to you for that you may be glorified. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Now, as much as the pickup truck, I'm going to tell you, some of you are stubborn, some of you are sweet. Some of you are funny, some of you are serious. Some of you are smart and analytical, some of you are smart and practical. Some of you are detailed, focused, some of you are dreamers. Some are big, some are small, some are strong, some are frail. Some are clean freaks, some just love dirt. But God created you. Have you ever thought about the fact that there are people who love to do that thing